We all make mistakes, no matter how big they are. Well, I went out to Texas Roadhouse Saturday night. That was a mistake. It took almost 2 hours. I figured nobody's been out, 2 weekends. I wasn't
People are
thinking,
gonna start to go stir crazy.
yeah, she cooped up, cabin fever.
Y'all, it is that time. We'll call the meeting to order. If we will, we'll stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody looks so professional. I might want that.
It's on. It was already on.
All right, if we can, we'll have a moment of silence, please. All right, we have a public comment. Have we got anybody? Okay, that's easy. I'm gonna knock that one right out. That worked pretty well. And announcements, and I don't have any other than what you see in front of you. We have the legislative breakfast, and you need to be there by 6:30. And it's at Trinity Oaks. It was at the Crystal Lounge last year. Year before that, it was, can't remember where it was the year before that. But that is, you wanna go, let me know, we've gotta let them know. We gotta let Chamber of Commerce, but it's early in the morning. It's a pretty decent breakfast. It'll be packed full. People that'll be there, you'll have Harry Warren there, Grant Campbell, because he does part of that. Julia Howard will be there, Carl Ford, and they will tell you kind of what they're seeing in Raleigh versus what's going on here. And if we go, Julia will embarrass us, and I can tell you she will. She won't mean to, but she'll say, "I only got Cleveland, so you in Cleveland know what's going on, so I don't have to say anything." And she does that and enjoys it way too much. But there's that. And also Carolina did beat Duke Saturday, in case any of y'all didn't know that. There we go. I knew Vera would help me out there. That was worth the trouble. I knew Vera would be good with that. So,
How long does his breakfast usually last?
it's not long. It's, and you ain't got to stay for the whole thing. They'll be done by 8:30, somewhere in there, because they'll eat early and get in and get out.
What's the date on that?
That's next Thursday.
Thursday?
Next Thursday. Not this Thursday, but next Thursday. And it's a good time to come in there, but now you got, and I'll say this, and I'm not demeaning it at all, but this is, the chamber's holding this. So it's, and the chamber does really good, engaging all of us, but you're gonna see you'll see a lot of business people from Salisbury. That'll be 90% of it, but you'll have people from every municipality there. Now, something different, last year we set up a table set up pins on, they're not doing that this year, and there was some people got all tore out of the frame over that, and I was like, I really don't know, you know, it's not gonna be a life-threatening event one way or the other. The idea is for us to find out what's going on with Raleigh. So if you do a good job with your representatives, you don't need to put you know, win or lose one way or the other, so we'll leave that at that. If there's nothing else, we, also, I'll say this, we have, don't forget, in March, that Power and Partnership breakfast will need to go. And also, as we were talking here, the, Rockwell is hosting the municipal meetings this year, and it's that night. So if you wanna just go to Trinity Oaks, hang out, we can go eat at El Patron or something for lunch, we just cover Salisbury right up, or you can go to Walmart for a little while and go right back, whatever floats your wig there. But that's, that'll all be that same day, so everybody's aware of what's going on. All right, moving along, the consent agenda. I need a motion to accept it or a reason not to.
So moved.
I have a motion to accept the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion, questions, anything like that? All right, all those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, like sign. All right, Terry, it's your turn. You get right in here and get out. It doesn't understand.
My name is Terry Davies. I live at 115 Davies Circle. My mother-in-law, Nancy Davies, lives at 135 Davies Circle. The houses were built years ago. And when they were built, my husband, who died in June, and his mother and father, who lived next door, decided to join the well. We're on a well. We're not on city water, town water, I mean. And, that was intentional on Ray's part. Ray wanted to live on the land. He wanted to have his own water, heat with a wood stove, that sort of thing. So it was set up that way. Well, Nancy's now 96 years old, and she is in Florida with her younger son, Roger. So her house is now empty, and during this storm, I, living next door and being a daughter-in-law, I needed to take care of the freezing, or potential freezing water pipes, right? So I learned a lot about her house that I didn't know before, and one is that I can't find a water cutoff. So I've been, dripping the faucets and this and that, because the only way to turn water off to her house turns water off to my house as well, and to the shop, which is a separate building on the 115 Davies Circle property. So, I'm here on behalf, I do not own Nancy's house, okay? Nancy owns Nancy's house. And her son Roger has power of attorney. And I have been in touch with Roger. Roger absolutely is hoping that he, as a board, me, as a representative for Roger and Nancy, will allow the town to hook up the water to Nancy's house. It's a street from existing water lines, I believe, there's some gutters there on the corner just drag to Nancy. So that's my primary reason for being here, requesting that the town consider, I'm not sure what words, to create a line from the town to Nancy's house, so that then I can get a permit to disconnect her house from Nancy's. And then if you all will grant me the request, how to do this, and then come here and make the request.
All right, this I can help you with. I know we've done it several others. Kelly, how many do you know, if I give you, can you give me a guess, how many we've got that are outside the town? Half dozen
Yeah, at least.
that are outside. It's something we've done before. Terry's not asking for something that's new. Anytime somebody does it, they incur the cost. Now, for us, I went back and looked at the water lines and where they're at. We've got something that we need to fix there too. Not just tying in her thing, we've got two dead end lines within about, 150 yards of each other maybe? Somewhere in there. And people that aren't familiar with what goes on in water lines or anything in here, we need to make that water line loop. That's probably one of the only places in the town that doesn't. I know we fixed Cemetery Street, we fixed Academy to Johnstone. Where else? I know, I'm looking at Travis and John because I know they would know. They were here when we did, because we went back and looped. Oh, Cemetery Street, stopped at Witherspoon's and stopped at Lions Club, that tap right there. But we do it with, if the town, if we decide to do this, which we set precedents and done it for other people's asked, you incur the charges to hook to our water line. And that's metered charge and whatever on your side. For us, we go to it, but Terry would also have to pay double rates.
Anybody outside the city limit
Pays
always
double
pays
rate.
double rates.
And realistically, from an economic standpoint, that's about what the rest of us are paying water. She's not putting sewer in, so she's not getting charged for sewer, but she's getting charged double for the water, which is about what our water bill would be anyway. There's really, I mean, there's not anything that we need to loop. We need to look at that, not just for your thing. We need to loop it. Loop it.
Then we're not gonna be able to loop it because it's a 2 inch.
Is it 2
It's
inch?
2 inch. So it does no good to loop it back right there.
I didn't remember what size it was. I didn't look and see what size.
But
it
as
was.
far as hooking on, I have no problem with it.
I mean, it's just
But like Pat said, you have to incur the cost to actually run it to where it can hook up.
and that's a,
It's either that or dig another well.
And
Because one
wells
was
are
already
outrageous.
got
those wells are pretty. Yeah,
Wells
and you,
are outrageous.
and it's a good move for you, but and I heaven forbid this would ever happen. And come back and both houses come up for sale one time, and they come to us and say, "What are we gonna do about the water?" And we're in a tough spot. I'll give you an example of just somebody I knew in Salisbury, and they're in the country club, and they built a building because both of them wanted a building. So they both built a building across, and they let the property line run through the middle of the building. This side was a pigeon coop, and this side over here was a lawnmower shed. And they both shared the building. They incurred the cost, which seemed like a great thing to do. And I said, "What's going to happen when y'all got to sell one of these houses? What happens then?" They didn't have an answer for that. Now I'm sure they didn't get a permit when they built it. They were all older gentlemen. And you know, they just thought it was a good idea for us to share a building. And now I thought, boy, you created a nightmare. So that's Terry's request. You see what's in front of you. I don't need to rehash it. There's the motion. Is there a second? All right, so you have a motion and a second. Any other discussion or questions from anybody? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Cool with me.
Now, there's some paperwork that she'll have to fill out to do that.
Kelly will be your guy. Okay, that's fine. Ask what.
Given that I couldn't think of a cutoff of any sort, I have no idea, when a storm happens like this, and I'm wondering, I mean, what happens if you're on town water? Do you need to worry about cutoffs? Do you need to, I mean, y'all know this, I'm just curious. I don't know, do you have that?
Well, it cuts off at the meter.
You can cut it off there.
Now, there's a lot, like my house, it has a cutoff under the house also.
If I was going to run a new line, Terry, I would make sure I told
Put me a cutoff.
put a cutoff inside that house too. You know, that would make sense. That's
Is it a slab house? Is it a slab house or does it have a crawl
No,
space?
it's got a I'm getting the crawl space.
Okay, so they'll hook it up under, your plumber will do all that. Make sure you tell them you want to cut
valve.
off.
So either I, if the house is empty, or if the house is rented or sold, whoever is responsible for the house will need to know that there's a cutoff. We'll still need to be aware of possible water, water pipe breakages, right?
Right, but that
Well-
would be under the house. You
And a
cut
lot of
off-
times Kelly will catch that if it's if your bill is like astronomical compared to what it was, that's usually an indicator that you have a leak up under there.
Even if it's a toilet.
And I started to say that is the biggest culprit in town. People don't think. They say, "Well, I don't have anything leaking," and I said, "Well, turn everything off in your house and go look at the meter." And you look at that little red needle, and if it's still spinning, there's water going somewhere. And you're making sure Mother Nature has all the water that she needs. That's all it is. You're just taking it from right out of that well and putting it in the ground over there. And you will get charged for that, so don't, but you know, but I hear so many people come in and they fuss about how high their water bill is, and the most simple thing is they've got a toilet that cuts off and on and they don't realize how much.
But
Mhm.
we, as a town, we will get the meter, like I said, it'll be to your cost, to where the meter will be set, and we'll put the meter up, and that'll be a plumber's responsibility to get it from the house to the meter.
Unless you were to dig a ditch.
I've already got the plumber order. So, spoken to the utility, he said, great. I said, okay, great. I need you. Do you have any idea? I think I'm understanding that you approved my request.
Right.
But you still have to come fill out the paperwork with it.
You do that, and then we're going, weather permitting is gonna be our big thing.
What now?
The weather permitting is gonna be our big thing.
Well,
Well,
in
that's-
general, assuming that this, not
Not months, no, I wouldn't think it'd be months.
Well, he'll have to order the pipe, stuff like that.
so reasonable, not like 20.
No.
Not like a
no,
big
no,
town
no,
either.
no. I hope not anyway. If it does, let me
Well,
know.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate it, and I'll be in touch with you.
All righty.
Good luck to you.
Okay, so that is out of the way. All right, we look at tree quotes at the cemetery, and for those who don't know what that is, on the west side of the cemetery, I had to think about which direction that thing was. There is an oak tree and a magnolia tree, and I can't remember, one of them was planted and one of them wasn't, but the oak tree has gotten so big and it is destroying our driveway. We had to fix that, but we don't need two great big trees in one little big spot, so we got things to do. And Travis, you got the quotes, didn't you?
Judy did.
And so to take the oak tree down, because if that oak tree would fall, or if a limb on it would
It
fall,
would tear a lot of stuff.
it'd tear a lot of tombstones up. Oh. So we were looking at cutting that oak tree down, and you got those quotes?
Yes, you got two quotes actually. One is for just a tree removal, no stump, and the other one is for the stump grinding and the tree removal.
How much is this thing?
$1,000.
I'm gonna tell you what.
But it's still all insured. We don't have to worry about it. If he does hit a tombstone, it's on him. His insurance will incur the cost to repair the stones or whatever it may be.
We could possibly go out there and dig that thing up, but we would be a whole lot better than grinding that stuff.
Yeah.
I agree.
Cause you pull one of those big oak tree roots out and it's like we go across that driveway. The roots will be to the end, to the drip line of the tree, and I don't know if the drip line is that's the extension of the branches or the water, and that drip line goes way out. So there's no telling what we would pull up if we dug that thing up, so. Me thinking, especially moving forward, we're
And
gonna
that's
do
him
all
getting
that.
all the grindings up,
That's them doing the whole thing.
everything.
What was the time? 35?
$3,500.
Yeah, I don't know what y'all think, but to me, it would be worth it to go ahead and make sure.
Well, he's gonna have to
everything's
rope every one of the limbs down so he don't hit tombstone, so it's a big job.
done. Yeah. So I'm fine. I would just put, need a motion to do that or not do that. There's two trees,
We're
we're
gonna
only
leave
gonna
the
cut
magnolia.
we're gonna leave the magnolia and cut the oak.
Somebody planted the magnolia in memory of somebody, I don't remember who it was, but I don't wanna cut that one.
The magnolia's not gonna get near as big as that oak tree. It's not gonna tear up near as much either. It is big it's getting bigger too, that's the thing. Lee owned it, or I can't remember I thought it was Gables. It was one of the Gables, I thought. Cause I said something to Danny before and Danny said, I don't remember which tree we planted. And then 10 years later, it only got bigger. The problem only got worse. So that's where we're at. One of them's got to go, and the oak tree is doing more damage structurally than the magnolia, I would say. Cause it's big right now. So we either need to figure out to do it with stump grinding or without stump grinding.
I think we should do it
I'd
with
say
the
do the whole thing.
Get it done.
Be
Just
done
do
with
it and get it
everything.
done right.
3,500 for the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yes.
I make a motion that
Do the whole
we do
thing.
the whole thing.
I
That
second
sounds like
that.
a good motion, then. We just do the whole thing. All right, so the motion is to do the 3,500, which is take down the tree and grind the stump up. Do I have a second to that?
I second.
Sean did.
Did Sean second that down there? Cool. John made the motion, Sean seconded. Any other discussions, questions, concerns? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right. All right. So we have an ice machine quote. As you know, or maybe y'all don't know, we've gone round and round with the ice people, and we had their machine for free for 3 years, 2 years. And the whole thing that brought it up was we ordered one kind of machine, and they sent us another one, and wasn't what we ordered, and we said we're not paying for what we didn't order. Well, we can't get the other one because it's more expensive now. And we said that's not it. The contract reads this price for this amount. And we said, come get it. Well, in the middle of all this, the salesman that sold it to us left the company. And they just came back recently, maybe 6 weeks ago, and started saying, well, you need to pay for this ice machine. We're like, no, you don't pick up what we're putting down. We're not paying. It's not what we ordered. It's sitting here. You can come get it. Well, that's what they did after 2 years. So, I mean, we
We
got
gotta
it
have
for free.
one before. The guys use ice for the sewer plant and stuff like that, and
Right.
plus we use it during the summer concert series and during the summer in general.
Well, and any ice we use in here, we don't have, all that comes from here.
Yeah, we got.
I mean, this is gonna be comparable, because I'm looking at this at Maniwaki, there's not much difference there.
And this one will fit in where.
We still got some cabinet space we can cut out if we had to.
Do we have a company that does maintenance to it after?
Well, you can see right here, it goes protect your product, and it says coverage is starting at 155.25. So the item is 27.80, and what I said was I'll go to South Carolina and look at one, but that's very comparable to what's there, and we don't have to do the maintenance, but we need to figure out how much we want to spend on that maintenance. Because if coverage is starting at 155.25, is that?
Jody said he could make things.
That's what I thought. Jody does really well, so he and I had talked about it. He said, "Man, I'll take care of it."
All it is change the filter and
Yeah.
clean it every now and then.
Flush the line and something.
Yeah, a little bit of Clorox and a new filter would make a world of difference. So, do you see the price in front of you? And I see free shipping and contact details.
Is that what we'll pay right there?
Plus,
Do we have to have
You have
taxes in
tax
there?
that.
You gotta add tax.
So 27.80. That's what's the tax gonna be.
plus 8%. So then
Yeah, close. You can do it at 8%. You'll be good.
we go over the number.
Yeah. So 27.80. So that's $200 more. 224. It's going to eat up the best part of $3,000, and we probably ought to say 31 just to make sure we got a little bit of leeway.
I'll make a motion we approve $3,100 for ice machine.
I'll second that.
All right. So we have a motion, a second for $3,100. Is there any other questions or concerns? All right. All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, like sign. All right. I'm gonna let one of you guys explain this next. The Genie lift. I can tell you right now that that is the hydraulic pump for that lift, is it not?
Yes, what the deal is, the hydraulic pump on our lift, which we use a lot, went out. He tried to get it repaired at Hydraulic Depot. They said it was pretty much fried. So they wanted what, 40?
To rebuild it.
Well, no, for a new one, because it's not rebuildable.
Yeah, the one they wanted to. The
It
one
was
they
gonna be a
wanted
lot
to-
more there, so we got on, or Jody got online and ordered it directly from Genie, I guess. And it's a lot less.
It's like $1,500 less. It was a
Yes.
lot. It was a tremendous amount.
Pretty much 30, in total will be $3,934.31.
Yeah, and that
And
is.
we've actually already ordered it, cause it's one of those things that I
We've
went ahead and
got to have it.
approved, cause we've got to have that lift. All this is paying for it. So, need a motion
Has
to
he
pay
got,
for it.
has he got
Motion
that?
to
thing?
approve.
Has he got one?
Second.
Has he put it on yet?
No, we have not got it yet.
All right, we have a motion to pay for this in a second. Yeah, we have a motion and a second. Has anybody got any questions about what it is? Cause it's the main pump out of our lift, so
It's
that'll
actually
tell you
two
what.
pumps, really.
But this one, yeah, it's the one that makes, you don't wanna be up in here and it quit working. Either you're gonna come down fast or not come down, so it's one of those two choices.
a lot.
We use it for everything. Good deal. All right, so we have a motion and a second. If there's no other questions, all those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right. Now, there's two things we have a resolution. Have you got a copy of that other resolution in here too? I got a heart association one here. Have I got the other one in here too?
It's a paper copy.
Okay, cool beans. And I tell you what we'll do is we'll add it to what we have. As soon as I find my copy, I'll use Travis's. He's probably got one made. Well, this first one's this heart association. We have two, I say proclamations or whatever, and it just to tell you, I can read this one to you word for word if you want, or you can look, but it's basically whereas the Heart Association, Rowan Public Health, everybody's partnered to make heart more accessible. This initiative provides free access to blood pressure kiosks and loaner kits at home. And it's just weird. You can read it. I don't need to read it to you guys. As you go for all this town, take advantage of these resources and monitor their blood pressure and prioritize their heart health. Don't eat at my house. I know how I cook. I hear it. Set forth my hand, and all it is for us to show our support for the proclamation. Read it word for word if you want.
For heart awareness month.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve it as presented.
Okay. There's a motion to approve it as presented,
Second.
and there's a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Opposed, like sign. All right, now, there's a paper copy you have here that wasn't sent to you, and as you look, we know that this is Black History Month, so you can read through this, and it says, whereas Black History Month reminds us of our responsibility to honor the contributions and achievements of African Americans and their pivotal role in shaping our state and nation. And, one of these whereases, whereas February 26th marks a century of Black History commemoration, the national theme is designated by the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, which sets out to highlight, celebrate the transformative impact of African Americans in the U.S. that has shaped life and culture. And it goes on. Whereas Dr. Carter G. Woodson is regarded as the father of Black history, founder of the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, first launched Negro History Week in 1926. North Carolina was one of 3 states to implement this new history week. And as you can go on, you can read North Carolina is home to the largest number of 4-year degree granting historically Black colleges and universities. Here's one of our alumnis. She's an alumnin, and she wears that red very proudly, as I would too. That's a good thing. As you go on, it goes to innovation dating back to Shaw University, and then you read on this North Carolina serves home for countless noteworthy Black figures making significant impacts, including Ella Baker, Maya Angelou, I hope I said that right, Thomas Day, Thelonious Monk, Dr. Charlotte Hawkins Brown, John Chavis, Harriet Jacobs, George Henry White, Anna Julia Cooper, Julius Chambers, Michael Jordan, back to the Carolina thing, and countless others. And whereas the North Carolina General Assembly established in 2008 the North Carolina African American Heritage Commission to preserve, protect, and promote African American history, art, and culture for all people, in addition to stewarding the North Carolina Freedom Park in Raleigh dedicated to the African American fight for freedom, and whereas the state of North Carolina encourages people to observe Black History Month as an opportunity to reflect, rejoice, and work in the community towards a brighter future as we continue to add racial injustices in our society today, as we continue to address. Now, therefore, we, the town of Cleveland Board of Commissioners, do hereby proclaim February 26th as Black History Month and commend its observances to all residences. And something that's not on there, and we can't add it to it, but that's not what we're voting on. But just to remember it, R.A. Clement is a great big part of Black history. That school is here. It's the last one of its architectural style that anybody knows about in the state, and it is probably in as good a condition as anyone in the state. How many were there? When we went to Raleigh, how many schools did they say were there in North Carolina? I can't remember how many there were, but there wasn't
Correct.
at one
Yeah.
time. And how many were left it wasn't, but like 15, if I'm thinking that's right,
Well,
across the
now-
state that were,
I'm not sure how many.
I was wanting to say it was 15 that were restorable, I guess is what they had places, they said, you know, some of these don't have anything but a tree growing through, you know, there's not even a building, the foundation's there. And they're identifying every one of them is what this group was doing, but I mean, realistically, this one here is, there's a lot of historical significance, and it is on the Register of Historic Places. So we do have a very big part of black history
I
here.
misspoke. I think there were 5,300, about 5,300 that were actually built. I think of that 5,300, about 800 are left in some form of
Yeah.
repair. North Carolina, I'm not sure, it might be about 40 or so, I believe, it's not a lot.
There were, so we had a call with Rebecca Spanbauer from the Preservation Society. You're right, there were 5,300. Unfortunately, now there's only 500 nationally left. And there are 132 in different capacities. But when you asked that question of her, she said there's only a handful that are left that are standing. And we have the last remaining type 4A. So
Of our
we
stuff.
may be the only last remaining in the whole country. We
Now,
don't
and-
know. We're trying to find that out. We may not be able to find out though, because each state has different, what I would say, inventories and different priorities. So we know that we're the only one, North Carolina and South Carolina and Georgia. So at this point, it really is a national treasure.
And if you don't understand what a Rosenwald school is, George Washington Carver and the gentleman that was president of Sears worked together to do these as they identified a need. Am I saying that right, Vera? Don't let me say something out of whack.
Julius Rosenwald, that's what his name is.
Right.
He was the co-founder of Sears.
And he was the president of Sears, and Sears was the big daddy. Sears was the Walmart of that time, and he was making money like there was no tomorrow. So he built these schools, and George Washington Carver worked with him in that. We have one of the last few. You've heard all the things. So what I need is a motion to approve the proclamation.
Second.
We got it. Did you do that? All right. So we have a motion and a second. Is there any other conversation, questions, anything like that? All right. All those in favor signify by aye. And opposed, like sign. Think. That works out. Guys, I tell you, you start reading, and I was as dumb as a rock, still am. I know y'all, but it is, it's amazing that these guys had that much going on, that they were paying attention. And the fact that they followed through like they did is a testament to somebody doing what's right. I just, and we've been down there, and I invite you to go back again and check it out, because the work is never ending. And I'm hoping I'm gonna say it's correct and not mess it up, but we are trying to make it very sustainable so it has a good future. If we can turn it and get it to where it could also purpose as a kid's place to join, play and whatnot, and the park being across the road, there's a lot of good possibilities there, and that's exactly what we're working towards. All right, that being done, we have the IAMGIS inventory and PO, and we're paying for what we have, and it's software support. And this, we have let this sit a little bit, but part of this program in our water system, we'll go back, you can plot all your, they'll do this for us, and you can digitize all your maps, all of your water, sewer, you can separate them, you can put your fire hydrants, you can put your street lights, there's a ton of different things we can do. They even went back through and they showed us the new sewer plant that they had just done. They went inside and digitized and labeled everything in 3D on somebody's new sewer plant they built. And this is a service we do through the sewer thing, and it helps with location a lot. But we've got I know Jody and I talked, and we've got some work we've got to do. We've got to identify where all our cutoff valves are, yards and everything, because if Walter Bryan had this amazing memory that I can't believe he had, and he put about everything in Cleveland, And then Robbie came along, now Robbie's gone, Walter Bryan's gone. If something happened to Jody or Jody was gone, then we would be out here,
We'd have to reinvent the wheel
yeah.
by
And
trying
this,
to find this stuff again.
and this right here gives us a plotting thing that does that. So we've not utilized the way we should, but that is a conversation I've had with Jody and those guys. And once, we get a little bit better weather before it gets mowing, that's something he would like to go ahead and do. But this is to pay the invoice, so you would be aware of what this really does. It does have, it's not a blind purpose. So, that being said, I need a motion to pay this, invoice.
I'll make a motion to pay the invoice of $4,725 for software and support.
Okay, we got a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
We got a second and a third. So we're going, is there any other questions? All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right, number 13 is grants. And this is for the police department, and Christine, you are the chief one, can explain what this grant is about. Get that, spit that stuff out, we can put them sunflower
Would you like
seeds
to-
in.
It's the Woodson, Margaret C. Woodson.
So this grant right here is for new tasers. We currently have a taser that is, about 14 years, I guess. When it first came out, the technology has kind of, it still works, but now the batteries are starting to go away. Like as the batteries die, we're not able to get more. We just basically have a lot of tasers sitting around. We've had donations of the X26P from the sheriff's office and a few other departments when they upgrade. So for a long time, we've been able to get these tasers, which is a less lethal energized weapon, at no cost, other than replacing batteries, every couple of years, which are about $100. But now, basically with the Taser 7 and Taser 10 coming out, these are becoming more obsolete, harder to get work done on them, cartridges and things like that. So the Taser 7 is the one that was asked about last year. The rep said they were, at that time, a la carte, you could get them off their website, but now they are bundled into a package. So the price has significantly gone up, and for 6 tasers is $32,000. And the Margaret C. Woodson Foundation, we were seeking $16,000 from this group for the Taser 7s. And then we have another grant that's actually it's the government,
The GCC.
the GCC grant, which has a $50,000 equipment grant, and we put the other $16,000 in that, along with some other less lethal pieces of equipment.
And for me, I didn't know anything about tasers.
You got a
I
crash
am
course.
one of those that when I hear taser, I think there's a lot of misunderstandings on the importance of good equipment. And so researched, and so the two of us have worked closely. You see that it's called the NC Officer Safety and Community Wellness Project. It's not called a taser project, because I think we need to make sure that the community's aware of the type of equipment that you need. This type of taser actually is something that is much more palatable. It's supposed to be equipment that is used to defuse situations versus escalate. So we need to be current. We need to make sure that when you're in a community that's been safe, that it's a trusted and an understanding of what we're doing. So part of it is also making sure that we educate the community on what we're doing and why we're doing it. One of the things I also learned is that we have the officers we work with on a mutual partnership with the county. However, most of the time, our officers are going out into the county. So when you think about that, that is where we need to make sure that we are going into situations and being helpful, but also have current equipment. So when I spoke with the Woodson Foundation about all the different grants that we're working with, they said that other towns, are having the same type of thing. They need to be current with their community resources. So we talked about the application for this and why we were applying. So part of what we will do is have the training and then utilize this as an opportunity in our community education to explain what types of equipment we have and why.
And if you guys wanna take time to read that, you can see what it takes to put, and that is not a very, and I'm not taking away from this work, that's not a real involved grant like some of the other ones we've attempted to get. But it's still a ton of work, so you see what's in there, all the wording and everything. But
Well-
that's just to give you an idea of what's happening there. There's not any action to take, but just to keep you in the loop so you know what's going on. And it's a lot. It's a tremendous amount of work. Well, the hardest thing is putting all the pieces together to put in it, and then writing the thing. So that's where we're at with that. So we'll find out, when will that be awarded? April?
The Woodson will be April, and the Woodson Foundation has been very good to us at R.A. Clements and as well as at Christ Church now as well. So, we have, the Woodson Foundation is part of the Foundation for the Carolinas, so that is out of Charlotte. So, they have never been to Cleveland. We kind of got into the same thing if they thought we were Cleveland County, because we have a new rep, so, they are coming out to visit us at some point as well.
So that is what our thing is on grants. Okay, so if we do that, we need to move on to 14, which is our closed session. So I don't mean to throw y'all out, but just for a minute. It won't take us very long at all. you gotta have power for UHF to do what, I don't have any power. What the heck? I got, well, we can split one, they pick up pretty well, I tell you, between, be over here in stereo. And doubles. All right. All right, we're back live, live as we, I'm not live, but we'll be as live as we can be. Okay, to commissioner reports. Ned, why don't you go? Tell us what you got.
Only thing I have, I went around Clement Street today and one of the speed bumps right there at the, you seen it, who did that? You did, didn't you?
No, ma'am, I did not do that.
Well, the speed bump right there by the old basketball court.
Got a little wonky, isn't it?
Yes, coming up.
Well, it wasn't coming up till we scraped for snow, that's all I can tell you. And,
Somebody about went through the windshield.
you can ask Jody why you wear a seatbelt when you drive a tractor, cause he can tell you if you don't, you look like a fly on the windshield.
Oh, okay.
That's what happened to that one, I can tell you. Yeah, he hit it, he
He
told us.
tack it back down.
He'll, yeah,
That's all I got.
okay. John, you got anything down there?
No, the last zoning board meeting was canceled, probably good with all the bad weather we've been having, so next one's in, March.
So, yeah, we'll know a little more. We'll know a little more. All right, Sean, it's you. You got some help, though. You got,
Yeah.
you got some help here.
I'm going to make a motion. Officer Everhart's been with us for 6 months.
Right.
He's completed all his training, and he's done everything that he needs to do to put him up to his promised pay schedule, which is the 5% increase.
All right, so there's a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right, Sean, now you got commission reports. You can make these other two guys. Doug's been sitting here so patiently, trying not to fall asleep. He'll be ready to tell us something. We're waiting on you, big guy.
Obviously, I didn't make it last month. I was at work at China Groves, but total tallies for 2025 were, I think, the highest anybody's seen on this end of the county in history.
Oh, what was total
No.
counts?
No?
Nah.
807 for this area.
That's a bunch out of
Yeah, that is a bunch.
there. I was trying to stretch you.
Cool Springs only got us by like 45 calls.
Really? And we got 805.
Yep.
Wow.
47 calls for the month of January. It was a nice slow month. The snow and ice wasn't fun. Greatly appreciate you guys helping clear the lot. Got some new guys that got adventures in chains on a fire truck, manual chains.
That
instead of-
is adventuresome.
instead of auto chains. As far as that call volume, 24 fire calls, 5 wrecks, 18 medical calls. Notes for the month: on the 10th of January, 20 of us and about a dozen from Woodleaf went to Cool Springs Station 2 to their live burn facility and trained for the better part of the day in suppression techniques and search. And then all of us combined as like a simulated 2-story house fire with trapped victims. And for some folks that had not worked together very much, it went off very well. Very valuable training. Shift coverage has been 100%. Got 4 new ones coming on, 2 engineers, 2 firemen. Our engineers are going to be 1 full-timer from Spencer, and the fire marshal of the town of Mooresville will be one of our new part-timers. As far as special info, once again, thanks for all the help with the snow and ice, as far as helping us clear that out. So this end of the county is known as the Northwest Fire Division. So there's 4 divisions in the county that they set them up into. I didn't come up with it. It was devised, I don't know, probably 15 years ago. So it includes Rowan, Iredell, Scotch Irish, Woodleaf, West Rowan, Franklin, and Locke. all of us, before the first storm hit, got together, either by phone, on a Zoom call, basically laid everything out, said, hey, we've got gas, we've got diesel, we got enough room for 10 more people. Pretty sure Lee had a good time over the weekend when he stayed, so he didn't have to drive home. We had us a ball. Luckily, nobody did anything dumb. Nobody went out and got stuck or took down some poles or lines, so we weren't that busy. But we had a plan.
Good. I'll say for me, I'm glad to hear all the departments working together. That's a plus.
Yeah.
A great big plus.
Yeah. The
But
big
thank you
thing
for
was
everything.
just, hey, look, if we're closer, we'll handle it for you. The heck with boundaries. Let's just get people taken care of.
Good deal. Thank you. I really do appreciate that. You don't know how much. All right, it's you, Will.
With the fire department, just like, you know, we appreciate the fire department offering a bump for any officers that we had over the, you know, through the ice storm, the snowstorm and things like that, you know, who were unable to get in. Of course, Welch didn't need it, you know, he lived here, and then the other guys live pretty close, but Lee lives furthest away, so we appreciate you guys letting him hang out with you in the firehouse.
We're just gonna have to get him some new nighttime shorts.
Yeah.
I don't even wanna hear about
Need to
it.
be a few inches longer.
Okay. No major issues through the storm. I think we did have one accident. It was very minor over on Johnstone Road, so, but for the most part, in our town, people were driving sensibly enough that it didn't require our attention, so. We did have people from the town I know scraping parking lots. I know ours got scraped. I guess Jody or you did it, I'm not sure. But, thank you very much for that. Now, the stats for last month in the police department, 77 calls for service. There were 246 traffic stops last month, which is about on par with, Josh coming back from Iraq, or Iran. 170 citations, 82 warnings. There were 10 warrants that were issued. We had 6 arrests. And then there were 2 traffic accidents, and I couldn't link any of them to Freightliners, so it appeared that they're starting to learn a little bit better. They're getting out there.
Don't say anything. Just don't say anything. Let's just
Yes,
go.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, because you know what'll happen. It'll inevitably go south if we say anything.
It's amazing they get them all out of the parking lot as quick as they do, and usually without fail.
There you go. Knock on that wood. All right, good deal.
I also forgot to mention, Chief Jessup and I have been in communication. Of course, as always, we developed the IAP. We, for the initial storm, had us an entire communication set up, just in case everything went bad, but appreciate your help and we're communicating.
Thank you very much, sir, for keeping up with all of that.
Good deal. Man, it warms my heart to see everybody work together. You don't understand. That works good. And Sean, you got anything else you got down there?
No, that's all I got.
All right, John Moore, what you got going on?
Nothing really, but the street lights in Beaumont made a great difference by 5 times at least.
But them other ones were getting pretty puny.
There was a couple of them burned out anyway.
Right. Right.
The town did look nice in the snow with the street lights and stuff.
All right. What you got, Big Daddy?
As far as January, on the water side, had one water tap in cemetery, exercising valves like in Beaumont Farms. Had to find them, locate them again. Meter reading, unfortunately, pretty much has been done manually.
Because of snow and ice.
No, because the AMI or tower, they're not reading.
That's fine. I have called them and I've yet to get a answer, so that'll be okay. I'll approach that again tomorrow.
They're continuing doing the manholes throughout the town, finishing repairs on them. Still waiting on a motor quote for the ditch 2. And in general, remove Christmas lights, snow removal, and just regular maintenance on all of Jessup's cars.
All right, well, now that the police department has taken up all our time with their maintenance on their cars.
We
That was-
very much appreciate that and save a lot of money by those guys doing it. Definitely.
It's all right. Hey, for me, as far as the economic development or anything like that, we're pretty much on schedule with everything you've heard me say over and over and over again. As far as land and things, there is one thing I did talk with Johnny Meadows last week, and he gave me a proposal for this before we start this project. They would, and that's why Kurt, if you saw me talking to him when we came in, Kurt's mother's part of that investment group, and they own this property behind us back here, and they came to me and said, hey, what if we gave you the land to go straight, in other words, reroute the street from this side of the well to the back side of the well, they would give us the land to do that. And it would allow, when you went straight across, of course it'll give you more room to widen the road, and it would go down and tie in to the very corner of their lot, which is at the bottom of the hill, right about where our sewer right-of-way is. It would be a whole lot easier to navigate that road with school buses or a truck or anything else by straightening it out some. So that's a plus, but I don't know what DOT is gonna say, because that is their road right now. So we need to go to them, which is I'm kind of excited that it's their road right now, because I can say, look at this safety situation that you could really correct and put a name for yourself. So we'll see how that goes. It would make it a little bit easier to navigate that street, and a little easier. And I know that memory main and old Mimosa Street used to stop at the bottom of the hill there. That crossing was there to get to the veneer plant. Mimosa Street didn't used to go all the way in. That crossing was just for trucks to run in and out of the veneer plant years ago, and it kind of morphed into our road, which is very much what happened. That if you, and John, I know you were on board. I don't know if Travis was yet then or not at the First Baptist Church. That road wasn't a road, and then it got paved and the parking lot got added, and we kind of took that thing over by default, and that's not our road, because we went back and it got closed. If you see the gate at the bottom, even though if we had to go through it wouldn't be a problem at all, but that was also one of those roads that kind of ended up being a road. But if in doing this, if John and them that group will give us the land, and I can get the DOT to agree to that, it would make it a whole lot nicer to go down through there, and then keep some mama from talking on the phone, putting on makeup and reading a book as she delivered her kids from hitting somebody. So that is about all I have. Now, any new and unfinished business anybody has?
You have something for Kelly?
Yeah,
Need to address,
Kelly's
Keeper
thing.
Kelly's.
All right, there is that, and there's one thing I want to do before we make him much. I want to thank Travis and Joy. We Sunday morning we got up early. I mean early. I won't say crack of dawn, but as soon as it got where we could get out, me, Travis, Joy, and Jody scraped the town, and we had the fire department, the police department, the town hall, in front of Common Ground, the post office, and all that. Now, the three of us worked on that while Jody tried to remove speed bumps. But the rest of us, but we all worked, and it took us 4.5 hours.
About 6 hours altogether.
Once we got done, and we salted all that, and the four of us, and I know we've gotten a lot of compliments over how the streets in Cleveland, our streets were clean, but the reason for most of that was because we got up early before cars started driving on and started packing it. And I mean, most of this I cleaned out here with a backpack blower, and I would blow it out, and Joy and she would scrape what I didn't blow, which wasn't a whole lot, and then we put it out there and Travis moved it, and then Jody was running the streets the whole time, so it worked out pretty well. Now, if we can get the rest of the maintenance department to get that fired up and get that done, if we have that situation again, it would work. But we didn't have any other ones come in because there was just no need. By the 2 o'clock, we were way done, and it was.
We had streets that already were dry, starting to dry.
This here was one of them worked out well. The fire departments went and started getting wet, and I got cold because that blower was blowing water on me instead of snow at that point. And I don't know who did that EMS building, but that hallway going in, where they walk in,
That held snow and ice.
Boy, that's a bad spot right there. It is a bad spot. I wasn't wet till we went in there, and that stuff was blowing. You can't get out. And I was like, boy, it wouldn't have hurt to put a hallway, put the door at the edge of the building instead of setting it in 25 feet. It made all the difference in the world. But I mean, you know, I don't know when the last time we got that much snow was, but it's been a while.
It's been a while.
So, but I want to make sure I thank you and Joy because, well, Joy enjoys that craziness. I don't know. Travis and I were out there. We couldn't let her outwork us. That's kind of how that went around. But it worked out really good. So make sure if you see her, you make sure you thank those two because that's not in their job description anywhere. They really did it, and it worked out well. And then Jody wanted us to come work for the maintenance department, and that was out. So we're not doing that. Just in case anybody knows. All right, the two things we have under new and unfinished business. One of them is the church to agree to purchase the Presbyterian church here in the V, and we, speaking with them, have gotten a price of $150,000, and that's what the contract reads. So I just need us to make a motion to go in that direction.
So moved.
All right, so we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion, 2 or 3 seconds. I don't think there's any need for any more discussion. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right, and then the other is to we need to keep Kelly at what she's making, and that was something we discussed weeks ago, but we've never taken formal motion on that, so I need a motion to that effect.
So moved.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion in 37 seconds out of 5 people. It worked out good. So there's no more discussion there. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right, cool beans. Now I need the most important motion of the night.
Motion to adjourn.
That's the one I'm looking for. Thank you, thank you.
Gentleman has something.
Hold on, go ahead, Tom.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Put it on me.
Some direction, on some point where you mentioned about trees,
Yeah,
okay, and, I know they're cutting trees around here.
right.
There's one right across the street from, you know, just going straight up, from someone else's property. Okay, that's one, I don't know whether they're gonna cut that tree or not.
I don't know, that's the power company trimming trees. I have no idea. The only tree we're gonna trim is one at the cemetery, so it doesn't fall and tear up 75 tombstones, so it's really tearing up stuff. I can't answer that for you, cause I don't know.
Okay, I mean, they're trimming around that, so, you know, I didn't know where they did or where they didn't, but they said when Duke Power said they were trimming out this on the highway, so if it falls, it's gonna fall on the line going that way, it's gonna tear the line up, so I'm sure they see it.
Well, yeah, and if you'll see what they're doing, I don't know what they're doing. I hadn't
They
looked, but
trimming
they're
There is a
trees.
way you can report, if it was me, I would
Call Duke Energy and tell them,
Energy
say, this
and
tree's gonna fall.
report it. Tell them, say, look, this tree's about to fall and it's gonna fall on your power line and I'm not gonna have power and you're gonna have to come in
Yeah,
here. in the
you're
middle
gonna
of
have
the
to, yeah,
night.
you're gonna have to wind it. You'll have more pull in that situation than we will. If you'll do it, if you'll call and just call and then call one day and then call the next day. And then call the third day, because I'm gonna tell you, me dealing with Duke Power, I know these lights, I've had 7 engineers that I've worked with on these lights. And every time I get one, they get going, they move, or they transfer them, or they do something else and they're gone. And then I get another one. And now out of that Duke Energy,
Have there other trees on there?
there's, like I say, 7 engineers, 5 of them were theirs and the other 2
They want Carver and Clemens.
were state.
And it might be where
Get
they'll
there.
cut it low enough where
If
if
it
somebody
falls.
else would cut it, it wouldn't even touch the power line. That's usually what they do. But they're in this area, I would probably call them tomorrow.
Well,
Yeah.
they cut all around it, you know.
Yeah.
and it's-
Well, just tell them come back and cut the thing down.
Is it on Main?
No, the one's right across the street from, it's on Main Street, yeah, right beside the home house. Then one tree going
Can you
straight
look at
up.
that and see what it is?
Yeah.
Well, you
Cause I
know-
know when I came home, they were on Crowder and Clement.
Well, they came all the way up this way.
Yeah.
To that tree, it seemed like they stopped there.
Well-
Down Jones Street, they were around Crowder Street.
They might.
They may be
gonna
coming back
picking
and
back
doing it.
up, I don't know.
I don't know, but I'd call to make sure I did it while they were up here. That,
Well, the guy came out there and said they were going to do it.
Oh.
That was before the snow.
But
yeah.
I would just remind them.
I'd call them and remind them. That would be the best.
I'll go out there tomorrow.
Yeah, and I would make sure I kind of said, hey, you can cut that thing down, because if you drive out of town and go to Salisbury, there is a river birch tree on the left. And it is when you go past Roy Huss's, that the road he lives on, it's about the second or third house. And there, you know, river birches grow in 2s, 3s, and sometimes 4. So they got that clump of trees, and they got 3 things sticking up, and then they got one that hadn't got a limb one on it. But they didn't cut the tree all the way down. They cut every limb and the top off of it. You'll have to look when you drive out of here. If you know what a river birch is, you'll look at it and say, that has got to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Because it wouldn't have taken but one more whack with a chainsaw, and it would have been down. But they skin it completely. It looks like a fishing rod sticking in the air. And it's, I'm not so sure, it's
I think they have to have permission.
right, but I mean, good, you killed it. You might as well take it down. I don't, it might come back, but I don't know. I mean, river birches are pretty tough, but you drive Salisbury and go down that road, you'll find it. I mean, it's not, past Mountain Road, it's about 300 yards on the left. I can't remember if it's Miss Hartsell's yard or if it might be in Grayson's yard. I can't remember. It's one of those 3 or 4 houses in there, and I went down there and I was like, there's not a leaf, there's not a limb. It looks like this, sticking up in the air. And then there's the other 3 over here, it's got limbs all on it. I'm
Didn't
going,
they got sworn in?
that just don't make no sense. It just didn't make any sense at all. So that'd give you something.
That's part B, this is on the neighbors, this has nothing to do with the town, this is, asking for recommendation, this is on the neighbor, and you're talking about the trees, like trees falling, and I talked to the neighbor, and there's a tree right behind our house, that's big old tree, they say it's gonna take it down, but, you know, I'm going, and I'm gonna do it, it's 2 different things. So I'm concerned about the fall, I mean, we've been dealing with this, you know, so I wanna know the recommendation as to
Well,
how I can handle that.
Other than reminding them to follow, and I don't know, I really don't know. I know that if a tree falls, the insurance company looks at it as an act of God on his side, so his insurance won't cover it, it'd have to be yours. If that gives you any motivation to talk to him a little more.
I'm thinking about covering me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah, and it would have to be your insurance, cause if
It
it
gets
falls
into
from
a
his
civil.
property, it's an act of God, and you get into a civil suit, not a thing, cause I know we had a tree fall on the building we had. Matter of fact, it was Christine's uncle's tree, and we've known it for years, and it just, one day, it just fell, and it wasn't a big, for us, it wasn't a big thing, hit a garage, we needed to tear it down anyway, and all, but insurance wise, our insurance paid for it, our homeowners paid for it, but I went out and cut it the rest of the way down, cause I said if it falls anymore, it's going to hit our house, it's laid on the garage, and they were fine with me doing that, but he said, you know, that's on your insurance, cause it's an act of God, and I would make sure my homeowner's insurance was in good shape, is what I guess I'm getting to, until you can get him to cut it down, and I hate that. It's very much like the state says with water. Once that water gets on your property, if somebody turns water and it's on your property, once it's on your property, it's your water. They don't have any provisions for it whatsoever, and that's kind of how that's going to be. So I'd stay after him, and I would make a note and write down every time I said something, because if you know that it's going to fall and it's a hazard, that may contribute and change it the other way. So that would be all I can tell you.
So it falls, there's no more time.
Yeah, all right. Well, this,
So, that might make some people happy, but that, you know, that it's no time in November, so.
yeah. I would keep pushing. All right, y'all, we're done.